All right, today we're jumping in the time machine. We are on the hunt for the true architect of the modern mystery, the person who basically drew up the blueprints for every thriller and detective story we can't put down today.
So think about that thriller you stayed up all night to finish, or that detective series you just binge-watched. Where did all those twists and turns, those shocking reveals, actually come from? Well, all these stories, they have a shared literary DNA, a common ancestor. And today, we're going to trace that DNA all the way back to its source.
Okay, so our investigation leads us to a prime suspect, and he's from Victorian England, of all places. This wasn't just some guy telling stories. He was an engineer of suspense. He literally invented new ways to shock his readers and keep them on the absolute edge of their seats. And here he is, Wilkie Collins. Back in the 19th century, this guy was a total rock star of the literary world. People went crazy for his incredibly complex plots and characters you just couldn't forget. He was a real trailblazer. And get this, he didn't just kickstart one genre, he basically created two.
So, first things first, Collins looked at the prim and proper Victorian society around him and thought, you know what? These people need a good jolt. He needed a totally new kind of story to shake things up. His solution was brilliant. He invented a whole new genre.
He called it the sensation novel. And yeah, the name says it all. It was designed to cause a sensation. Imagine this. You take the spooky, moody vibe of a gothic horror story, you mix in a really juicy mystery, and then, and this is the secret sauce, you add a heavy dose of sharp social critique.
The book that absolutely lit the fuse on all this was The Woman in White. What made it so game-changing wasn't just the plot, but how he told it. Collins had different characters narrate their own parts of the story, kind of like witnesses giving testimony in a courtroom. So you, the reader, you have to become the detective, sifting through all these conflicting stories to figure out what's really going on. It was an absolute masterstroke. And it let him tackle some seriously bold themes for that era, like the fight for women's autonomy. By showing the same events through different eyes, he could expose how easily a woman's truth could be twisted or just completely ignored by the powerful men around her.
But wait, he wasn't done. Collins wasn't the type to rest on his laurels. After basically inventing the modern thriller, he was like, okay, what's next? He decided to take on an even bigger challenge, not just giving us a mystery, but actually showing us, step by step, how to crack the case.
And this, right here, is the moment he goes from being an architect of suspense to the architect of the entire detective genre as we know it. He created the template, the formula that writers are still following more than 150 years later. It's wild. Okay, so the next case file is The Moonstone. And check this out. It's got everything we expect from a classic detective story. You've got the mind-boggling crime, right? The theft of a priceless diamond. You've got the brilliant detective, the awesome Sergeant Cuff who gets called in, and of course, a whole cast of shady characters, each with their own secrets. He even brings back that multiple narrator trick, but with a twist. This time, every testimony isn't just a story, it's a clue. It's another piece of the puzzle, slowly, carefully, pulling us towards that big, shocking reveal at the end.
So let's just lay the evidence out, side by side. On one hand, you have The Woman in White. With that, he perfects the sensation novel. It's all about conspiracy and the slippery nature of personal identity. Then, just a few years later, he drops The Moonstone. And boom, he creates the detective novel, which is all about the process, the nitty-gritty of how you find the truth. You can literally see his genius evolving right there on the page.
So you gotta ask, what was the motive here? I mean, why was Collins so obsessed with writing these dark, twisty stories? Well, it turns out the mysteries he wrote about were really just a clever way to expose the secrets of the real world. His real genius was kind of like hiding medicine in a spoonful of sugar. He wrapped up this really sharp social criticism inside a story that was so thrilling you just couldn't stop reading. So he wasn't just giving people a fun escape, he was making them look at the ugly parts of their own society, whether they realized it or not.
And man, he did not hold back. He took aim at all kinds of hidden hypocrisy. Take the theft of that diamond and the Moonstone. On the surface, it's a whodunit. But really, it was a way to make readers think about where all that colonial treasure came from. A pretty bold jab at British imperialism. And all those plots against rich women in his books, that wasn't just for drama. It was a full-on attack against unfair laws that left women totally powerless. For Wilkie Collins, every mystery, every stolen gem, it was all a metaphor for a much bigger injustice. Every single plot twist had a point.
Okay, so the time has come. What's the final verdict in the case of Wilkie Collins? What's his legacy really? The verdict? It's a slam dunk. The man is, without a doubt, a foundational figure. I mean, the tools he invented, using multiple narrators, creating the professional detective, those became the absolute building blocks for pretty much every mystery writer who came after him.
Seriously, you can draw a straight line from his novels in the 1800s right to the bestsellers on your shelf and the shows in your streaming queue. That complex crime drama with all the different viewpoints that you're hooked on, yep, it's got Wilkie Collins' fingerprints all over it. His influence is just that massive and long-lasting.
And that kind of leaves us with one last question, doesn't it? Collins used the mystery genre to drag the hidden injustices of his time out into the light. It really makes you wonder, if a writer like Wilkie Collins was around today, what secrets would they uncover about our society? What are the mysteries hiding in plain sight right now, just waiting for the right storyteller to come along and crack the case?